So a simple video. I have a Word document that I've created here with a series of numbers. So I have 200,000 separated with a dot, 200,000 separated with a space, 200,000 separated with a non-breaking space. In fact, probably if I make this a bit bigger. How do I do this? You can see these better. There we go. Non-breaking space, 200,000 separated with a comma, and then a few other numbers that repeat the pattern of dot, space, non-breaking space, and comma. And we're just going to take a look at how these can be handled in Studio. So if I just make a note of where that is, you can see I have a translation memory there as well, which I'm going to use. So if I just open that file, and I'm going to go German to English, United Kingdom. No TM yet, so I just open the file. Just close that for a second too. So this is what you get when you open that up. You can turn the formatting on or off, which shows you what kind of space are in there. It's relevant just for this exercise. And actually, if I also make, where do I do that? If I make this a bit bigger as well, that will probably make it a bit easier to follow. Let's come back. Well, in fact, while I'm in that window, I have a little plugin here called the Regex Magic AutoSuggest provider, which I installed from the Open Exchange, and when you click on it, it puts a box down here for me. You can move that box wherever you like it, but this is where I'm going to put it. I'll go back to my home view again, and what I'm going to do is add a translation memory in my project settings. So I'm going to add that German English translation memory, and just so you can see that's actually set up to recognize numbers. This is important. So you can see what happens is as soon as I do that, because my project is going German to English, there's a blue line underneath the whole number, and it's automatically translated that to 200,000, which is probably correct, because 200, it's assuming that this is a 1,000 separator as opposed to it being a decimal place, because there's 3 numbers after it. So we'll assume that that's what I want. So I move down to the next one after I confirm that first segment, and you can see what happens. Studio auto-propagates the ones that it recognizes. So you can see if I click on this one, there's a number gone right underneath that. It's recognized this, the comma, and it said, okay, this time, because you put a comma, you must have meant a decimal place, because that's how you would write that in German. So I've converted that to a 200.000, because that's what it would be in English UK. This one must be a 1,000 separator, because in German that's how you write the 1,000 separator. So I convert that to a comma, because it's a 1,000 separator. And the last one has done the same thing, converted the decimal place to a decimal place in UK English. So we take a look at what's happened with the other ones. Here we have a space, and Studio believes that writing 200,000 with a space in between it is incorrect for this language pair. So it's instead picked up the 2 separate numbers, and if I press Control comma, you can see what it does. It gives me the separate numbers. So I would have to enter each one separately myself, if that was supposed to be 1,000 separator, comma, Control comma, like that, which is a bit of a nuisance, especially if you've got a lot of them. So what you can do here, we have a number of things you can do actually. You could edit the source using the STLXLib toolkit and change them all to something that will be recognized, and that will probably be the quickest way of doing it. But I'm just going to show you how you can do this using the Regex Magic AutoSuggest provider. So here I've created a number of rules here, just out of curiosity. So I've created one specifically that looks for a standard space. So if this found a non-breaking space, it wouldn't work. So I just activate that one for a second. If I come back up here, as soon as I press 2, you can see what's happened there. It's recognized that as being the match that it was looking for. So the match it was looking for was any number followed by a normal space followed by a number. It's put the first number and the second number in as back references. So this is the first back reference, this is the second back reference, it's enclosed by brackets, that's what the back reference is. And I've called those 2 back references. $1 calls the first one, $2 calls the second one, and I've just put a comma in between it, and that's what I get there. So as soon as I press enter, my number is localized as I wanted it. If I went into the second one and I did the same thing, you can see nothing is picked up, because in this case it's a non-breaking space, so it wouldn't be picked up by that expression. So if I just close that and I activate this rule as well, this time when I come in here and hit the 2, this time it finds it because it's found the non-breaking space and replaced it by a comma. What I could have done, if I didn't care what difference it made, what kind of space it was, I could have used a \s and then it would find any old space. And so if I just undo those things and I hit a 2, then that rule that's now activated gives me that one, and if I hit a 2 in there, it gives me that one. So you could do it that way around, and the same thing would happen down here. Does that one, and it does that one. So you can use the Regex Match AutoSuggest provider to convert the numbers really easily while you're working by creating a rule very quickly to handle whatever the number of expressions are that you're trying to deal with. Hope that was clear. I hope that was helpful.